this video, we will study about the laws of chemical combination. When elements combine to form compound, they follow these 5 basic laws. These 5 basic laws are as follows. Number 1, law of conservation of mass, or simply we can say mass conservation law. Second is law of definite proportion. Third, the law of multiple proportion. Fourth, Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous combination. And fifth one is Avogadro's law. So these are 5 basic laws that we have to study. First, we will understand about law of conservation of mass. By taking example of hydrogen and oxygen, 2 moles of hydrogen and 1 mole of oxygen gives 2 moles of water. Now we will understand on left hand side the total mass of reactant, and on the right hand side mass of product will remain same or not. Hydrogen 1 gram into 2 to the 4, we will get 4 gram of hydrogen, and oxygen 32 gram. So here left hand side we get the reactant mass to be 36 gram. Same way on the right hand side, molar mass of water is 18, but it is 2 mole, that is why we will get 18 to the 36 gram. So we can say that law of conservation of mass is followed in this case. Another example, CaCO3 on decomposition heating gives CaO solid plus CO2 gas. Let's check mass on both the side. On left hand side, calcium carbonate mass is 100 gram, as well as on right hand side, mass of calcium oxide is 56 gram and mass of carbon dioxide is 44 gram. So here also we can say on left hand side and right hand side the mass conservation is followed. This law was proposed by Antony Lavoisier. Now we will study another law. In second law, we have to study the law of definite proportion. The law was proposed by Joseph Proust. He took 2 samples of CuCO3. One sample was natural sample and another sample was synthetic. He found that percentage copper, percentage carbon and percentage oxygen in both the sample to be identical. If we say this is X, this is Y and this is Z, then here in synthetic sample also percentage of copper is X, percentage of carbon will be Y, and percentage of oxygen will be Z. It means we can say that if a sample is obtained naturally or synthetically, the portion of elements present in the compound will always be identical. It means we can say that the percentage composition of the constituent elements in the sample, whether it is obtained naturally or synthetically, will remain same. Another example we take of water. If water is taken from any source, and if we decided the percentage of hydrogen and percentage of oxygen, it will remain always be same, nearly 88% and 11 point something percent. So H2 is taken from any source, the percentage of hydrogen and oxygen will be found identical. Now we'll understand third law. Law of multiple proportion. The law was proposed by Dalton. To understand the law of multiple proportion, we take example of water and hydrogen peroxide. H2 plus O2 gives H2. If we write here 1/2 O2, then it is balanced. H2 plus 1/2 O2 will give H2. Same way, H2 plus O2 will give H2O2. This is water and this is hydrogen peroxide. Now we want to understand the law of multiple proportion. So from these two examples, we can see the amount of hydrogen or simply say mass of hydrogen is 2 gram, which is reacted with amount of oxygen or mass of oxygen in the water 16 gram and in the hydrogen peroxide 32 gram. Once more, amount of or say mass of hydrogen that reacts in water and hydrogen peroxide is 2 gram, and the amount of oxygen or simply say mass of oxygen in water and hydrogen peroxide is in simple ratio 16:32, or we can say 1:2. So this is also known as law of multiple proportion. Now the fourth law of gaseous volume. This law was proposed by Gay-Lussac. According to the law, when gases combine or form in a chemical reaction, they do so in simple ratio by volume, provided similar condition of temperature and pressure. Now to understand the statement given by Gay-Lussac for the law of gaseous volume, we can take example of H2 gas. plus 1 half O2 gas gives H2. So here we can say 1 volume of hydrogen gas and 1 half volume of oxygen gas gives 1 volume of water. Same way, another example we can take nitrogen gas plus hydrogen gas gives ammonia. In this example, we can say 1 volume of nitrogen and 3 volume of hydrogen gives 2 volume of ammonia. Now we will study another law, that is Avogadro's law. According to Avogadro's law, we can say equal volumes of gases in similar condition of temperature and pressure possess equal number, equal moles we can say, or equal molecules of gas. Once more, equal volumes of gases under similar conditions of temperature and pressure possess equal moles or equal molecules of that gas. So we can say number of moles to be small n or number of molecules to be n. Then we can say V proportional to n or V proportional to capital N, either molecules or moles. Now we will study application of Avogadro's law. Application number 1. How Avogadro's law is helpful to us? By studying this application, we can understand the importance of Avogadro's law. First application. Take example of hydrogen gas and 1 half O2 gas will give H2O. So, first application is we can find out atomicity of gas. Atomicity of gas can be found out by applying Avogadro's law. Once more, we have example H2 plus 1 half O2 gas will give H2. So from this we can say 1 half molecule is equal to 1 atom. 1 half molecule is equal to 1 atom of oxygen. Therefore, 1 molecule is equal to 2 atoms of oxygen. From this study we can say that atomicity of oxygen is 2. Another application, we can establish the relation between molar mass and vapor density. Molar mass and vapor density. Vapor density is equal to density of a gas upon density of hydrogen gas is equal to, we can say, mass of volume of a gas at STP divided by mass of hydrogen at STP is equal to, we can say, mass of n molecules of a gas upon mass of hydrogen, and that is equal to 2 hydrogen atoms. So mass of n molecules of a gas, we can say molar mass of that particular gas divided by 2. So we have got vapor density is equal to molecular mass divided by 2, or we can say 2 into vapor density is equal to molar mass. 2 into vapor density is equal to molar mass. And third application, we can say that molar mass of a gas is equal to mass of 22.4 liter volume of a gas. Now we will study numericals to understand all these different laws. Before we study the numerical, we will study one more law, that is law of reciprocal ratio. This law was forwarded by Richter. Now to understand this law, first we will take example of 3 elements, say carbon, oxygen and hydrogen. Carbon and hydrogen forms methane, CH4, and hydrogen and oxygen forms H2. So carbon and oxygen will form carbon dioxide. Once more, carbon and hydrogen form CH4, methane. Hydrogen and oxygen forms water. Then carbon and oxygen can form carbon dioxide. Now we will calculate that in methane, hydrogen is to carbon is 4:12. And in water, hydrogen is to oxygen is 2:16. So we can say 4:32. So hydrogen is 4 gram and carbon and oxygen is 12:32 gram. So it is a simple ratio. If we divide it by simple 4 3s are 12 and 4 8s are, we will get 3:8 ratio. So carbon is to oxygen ratio is found to be 3:8 in the case of methane and water. Now we will study the same ratio is possible in carbon dioxide or not. C is to oxygen in carbon dioxide is 12:32. That is 3:8. So we can say from this that fixed masses or fixed ratio of 2 elements combined with the fixed mass of third element, then these 2 elements can also combine in the same ratio with each other. This is about the law of reciprocal ratio. Now, we will study different numericals to understand all that laws. To understand the law of mass of conservation, we will study this numerical. In the numerical, it is given when 4.2 gram of sodium hydrogen carbonate is added to a solution of acetic acid CH3COOH weighing 10 gram, it is observed that 2.2 gram of carbon dioxide is released in the atmosphere. We have to show that this is in agreement with the law of conservation of mass. First of all, we will understand the reaction takes place between CH3COOH and NaHCO3. NaHCO3, sodium hydrogen carbonate plus CH3COOH, acetic acid. When reaction takes place between these two chemicals, we will get CH3COONA, CH3COONA, and CO2 is removed. Beside with that, we can say water is also formed. Now let us understand first the balance of this equation. CH3COO and sodium. So it has been balanced. Now H2 and oxygen from this. So we will get CO2 and remain left is H2O only. So once more CH3COONA, CH3COONA, both sides equal. Now CO2 if we take, then one oxygen will be left and that oxygen and two hydrogen will give H2O. So this is balanced equation. Now here it is given 4.2 gram of NaHCO3 and CH3COOH is 10.0 gram and 2.2 gram of carbon dioxide is released in the atmosphere. So this we can say as residue. So this will be 10 plus 4.2, it is 14.2, and this will be 12.0, residue CH3COONA and H2 will be 12.0. So on left hand side, the total mass is found to be 4.2 and also the same is found on right hand side. Right hand side also it is 14.2. So we can say that this is in agreement with the law of conservation of mass. To understand the law of definite proportion, let's study this example in which it is given 2.16 gram of copper when treated with HNO3 nitric acid followed by ignition of that nitrate gave 2.7 gram of CuO. In another experiment, 1.15 gram of CuO upon reduction with hydrogen gave 0.92 gram of copper. We have to prove that, or we have to show that above data illustrate the law of definite proportion. So for this first calculation we will understand, in which 2.16 gram of copper when treated with HNO3 followed by ignition of nitrate gave 2.7 gram of CuO. So in first case, percentage of copper, in the first case percentage of copper can be found out by 2.16 gram of copper and 2.70 gram or 2.7 gram of CuO, we will get 80%. Therefore, percentage of oxygen in the first case will be 20%. Now in case 2, in second case, 1.15 gram of CuO upon reduction with hydrogen gave 0.92 gram of copper. So in second case, percentage copper is equal to 0.92 divided by 1.15 gram into 100. We will get 80% of copper and 20% of oxygen. It means from the first case and second case, we can say that the data above is given or illustrate the law of definite proportion. Now to understand the law of multiple proportion, let's solve this example in which it is given carbon is found to form two oxides that contains 42.9% and 27.3% carbon. We have to show that these figures illustrate the law of multiple proportion. So we have two cases, case 1 and case 2. In the first case, percentage of carbon is 42.9%. Therefore, percentage of oxygen will be 57.1%. On removing 42.9 from 100, we will get percentage of oxygen to be 57.1%. Now in the case 2, we have percentage of carbon to be 27.3%. Therefore, percentage of oxygen will be 72.7. On removing 27.3 from 100, we will get 72.7%. So we have got carbon 42.9% and oxygen 57.1% in the first case. So for the first case, we will say now that 57.1 part of oxygen combines with, for the first case, we can say 57.1 part of oxygen combines with 42.9 parts of carbon. Therefore, 1 part of oxygen combines is equal to 42.9 upon 57.1 is equal to 0.751. On simplification, we will get 0.751. Now in the second case, we can say that 72.7 part of oxygen combines with 27.3 part of carbon. Therefore, 1 part of oxygen combines is equal to 27.3 into 1 divided by 72.7 is equal to 0.376. On simplification, we will get 0.376. From this calculation, from first case and second case, that we can say 1 part of oxygen combines is equal to 0.376, and here in the first case 1 part of oxygen combines is equal to 0.751. So 0.751 is to 0.376 is nothing but 2:1 ratio, that is simple multiple. So from this data we can say that this data illustrates the law of multiple proportion. To understand the law of gaseous volume, here in the question it is given 8 liter of hydrogen gas and 6 liter of chlorine gas are allowed to react up to maximum possible extent. We have to find out the final volume of reaction mixture. First of all, the reaction takes place between hydrogen and chlorine to give 2 mole of hydrochloric acid. Volume before reaction hydrogen 8 liter and chlorine 6 liter, but HCl in the beginning is 0. But volume after reaction, 6 liter hydrogen and 6 liter chlorine will give 12 liter of hydrochloric acid. So Cl2 will be consumed and 2 liter hydrogen gas will remain left. Therefore, in the mixture, after reaction, volume of mixture after reaction will be 2 liter of hydrogen and 12 liter of hydrochloric acid. So we will get 14 liter. So once more, volume of mixture after reaction is equal to 14 liter. Now we will study Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton gave some postulates. They are as follows. Postulate number 1. Matter consists of indivisible atom. According to the first postulate, we can say matter consists of indivisible atom. Second postulate, all atoms of same element are identical in shape, size and mass. Third postulate, atoms of different element have different mass. Fourth postulate, atoms of different element combine in fixed ratio to form compounds. And in chemical reaction, we can say atoms are neither created nor they are destroyed. So these are the 5 postulates of Dalton's atomic theory.